Your past can only be your past if you left it there, in the past. Your past cannot be your past if you still allow it in your present.
BTSW.
This one, very straightforward, but it's simple. You know the rule. So let's go ahead and complicate this for no reason. People always say, as an excuse for something that they used to be known for, is that, oh, that's in the past. That's just my past. Please don't define me by my past. However, you have some people who might have a past that are still known for their past actions and past personas as something that is still ever present in the present. In other words, they might call it their past, but it's more like their beginning, because not only was it in your past and still in your present, but now it's even more so. There was some improvements, and not in a good way. You got better at being what is obviously not good, because anything that you refer to as your past is something that you don't want in your present, which therefore means something that is not good or something that you don't want to be known for in your present. So it's bad that it's still in your present. Now, I'm not here to advise how to get rid of your past, because I feel like it is very obvious. However, if you are still a bit hazy, you could refer to the people not changing video, because people don't change. It's the situation that changes. So if you fully believe that you changed but nobody else believed that you changed, or your past is your past but nobody else believed that it's still in the past, then chances are it's the situation, and you were always who you are now. So the person that you were in your past, you are still that same person, which is why your past is in your present. But for those people who have to deal with people like you, I say to them, you might have to get rid of these people, because they never seem to want to acknowledge that the past is also in the present, and that therefore means it's no longer past. It's just another ever-present thing that you are known for. And you need to understand that if it is in the past, then it has to stay there in the past. And that also means you can't bring it up, you can't make references to it, you can't talk about it, you can't even make an indirect reference to it, as in to say, man, if this was a few years ago. No, because that hints at maybe your past isn't in your past. You see, like I said before, the simpler it is, the deeper it actually is. You have the word past, something that is no longer here, something that already passed. That's ED. If that past passes back around, then not only is it in the present and not in the past, but it's also a cycle. So you might experience something today, and then a year from now you experience that same thing. That doesn't mean that it's in the past. That means that it's on a cycle. Some cycles, they run really, really wide. For example, a whole year long. Your age runs in a cycle that lasts a year. So every year you turn a new age. That's a cycle. That's not something that's in the past. Your age isn't in the past. It's still in the present. I feel like that's the best example. But you could use any date. I just said, your birthday, because I believe everybody has a birthday. So I felt like that was, anyway, that's besides the point. The point is, your past cannot be your past if it is in the present. And a part of knowing whether it's in the present or in the past is if there are no references to it and there are no cycles. So we covered the references, and the cycle could last up to a year. I feel like if it's more than a year, then you probably have a problem, because if something happens every 2 years or so, then that's a really wide cycle, and that is beyond my abilities. I cannot help you with that one, unfortunately. But it is definitely not your past. I can't definitely define what is classified as your past, but if you have to refer to it more than once, then it's not your past. If it happens every so often, then it's not your past. If you are still constantly reminded of it, or there's still a trickle, then it's not your past. However, there is hope that perhaps you're getting better and it's slowly drifting into the past. But the present is an ongoing thing. It's not just now and now and now. It's now and at the end of this video. It's now and at the end of the week, or when the next video comes out. The present is just now. Whatever you and everyone can remember like that, without thinking about it, and everything that has not happened yet, that can happen within the space of a day or so. That's the present. The future is not something that you can grab. It's not something that is ever going to be here. The future is always tomorrow. It's always a day away, like Annie said. You always only have the present, and you shouldn't have the past, but you should have a memory of it. But if the memory keeps coming up, then that is also the present. I hope you understand. I can't simplify it anymore. I mean, after I already complicated it, I can't simplify it anymore. But just remember, for those of you who might have to deal with these kind of people, and for those people that are watching, that you know yourself, your past cannot be your past if you still allow it in your present. Your past can only be your past if you leave it there in the past. No references, no, boy, if it was a couple, none of that. If you really want it to be your past, leave it there.